Who's more clueless? You have Greece on the brink of failing, but workers on a 24-hour strike were protesting some needed austerity measures.
Our Congress, maybe, are they worse? Who just got sent a pretty clear message at the ballot box, but continued to push $200 billion in spending packages by their Memorial Day vacation.
To Michele Bachmann, now Republican Congresswoman from Minnesota, and Democrat Robert Andrews from New Jersey. Representative Bachmann, are your colleagues getting the message?
Oh, I think they are. The elections were pretty loud and clear, and I think that it's clear that the American people have said enough of the out-of-control spending, enough of the trillion-dollar deficits. Don't make us bail out Greece now, too. So I think people are pretty fired up right now, especially with the news today, unfortunately, of the spike in jobless claims. That makes everyone upset and jittery. And then, of course, with this Greek bailout, I was in the committee today, in Financial Services Committee, questioning the Federal Reserve Board of Governors representative that was there today, asking them, doesn't this present a moral hazard? What signal are we sending to the other countries in Europe about getting their own financial house in order? And I think that this is a real moral hazard.
Representative Andrews, what message did you and your colleagues get from the most recent election?
Well, I think the message is very clear that people do want spending brought under control. And I also agree with my friend from Minnesota that United States taxpayers should in no way be put on the hook for a bailout of Greece. This is a European problem. The Europeans need to take responsibility for it.
Representative Bachmann, we've got to talk about financial reform regulation. We saw a switch over. The key vote in passing cloture came from Scott Brown, the so-called reformer from Massachusetts, who was going to go against the grain. He ended up switching over to Harry Reid's side. Why do you think that happened?
Well, I can't answer for Scott Brown. I'm only sorry that he did, because in my opinion this is a very poor bill, because the American people have said again they don't want any more bailouts from the federal government. They don't to private industries. They don't want the federal government providing lines of credit to private industries, and they certainly don't want the federal government to secure private industries' debts. So I think this bill isn't one that the American people at the end of the day will be in favor of.
Okay, but Representative Andrews, you know, we're looking at a situation where the American people do want one thing, and a lot of polls have shown they actually are on board with some type of financial regulatory reform. Is this the right bill?
Yeah. Well, I think it is, because I think it will prevent taxpayer bailouts. As I understand this bill, the key idea is that you can't take risks on things like derivatives with money that's insured by the taxpayers through the FDIC or insured by taxpayers through the pension funds that are insured. I think if a private individual wants to take a risk, that's a decision for him or her to make. But I think if you're taking a risk as a banker with FDIC-backed money or a pension fund with PBGC-backed money, then I think there should be limitations on that risk. And that's the core and good idea of this bill.
The problem, Representative Bachmann, according to some people who are not, well, hold on, there is the president speaking. Let's listen to him.